What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean Peter Blunt guy. Hey! And we are back with another Berserk read through. Today we will be reading chapter 24 chronologically, right? And today in the title of today's chapter is Assassin chapter 1. So we're getting kind of into a different, I guess, mini arc, right? A different mini arc. And yeah, that's for you people who follow the books and might be reading along in the books. Now you know the name of the chapter we are reading, but this is chapter 24 chronologically. So yeah. But before we get into the chapter, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment. Make sure you comment down below your thoughts on the chapter. Let me know your thoughts on this read through. How you feeling about Berserk? Hype it up for me. Hype it up for me. But yeah, also make sure you follow me on Twitch so you can catch these read throughs live, and you can also engage with me in real time. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and come be a part of my community. Join the Discord. All of these will be in the description box below. So yeah, let's get into the chapter. So last chapter, we got we starting off in the beginning, we meet the king and his brother. Even though we met the king before, so it's not us meeting the king, but we see the king again. We meet his brother, who was acting a bit haterish, right, towards Griffith. He didn't, he's not too much of a fan. He also didn't like Guts disrespecting the king. We also meet the princess, the king's daughter, who, after the king left and she was following the king, she tripped on a protruding stone, and Griffith happened to catch her. And it was kind of hinting at like some feelings being involved among the two eventually, right? Julius didn't like that. The king's brother didn't like that, and he ended up smacking Griffith. And then later we cut to Julius going to a courtyard, overhearing these commoners, these women, praising Griffith, right? And after they leave, we get introduced to a new character named Foss. He's like the minister, and he started manipulating. I was about to call him old Griffith. He started manipulating Julius, and he even suggests like, hey, maybe you might want to off this guy, with an accidental poison arrow, right? Because if you don't, the man might gain more power, and he might eventually be a general like you. And Julius wasn't liking that. He wasn't liking the idea of Griffith gaining power and becoming his equal, a commoner, right? So yeah, so we end the chapter with with Guts on a rooftop thinking about what Griffith said, and he pretty much pledges his sword and to continue fighting for Griffith. And that's how we end the chapter. So yeah, so now we are on chapter 24 chronologically. Chapter 24, and the title of this chapter is Assassin chapter 1. So is this the assassin that's meant to kill Griffith? We shall learn. We shall learn. All right, so we get a cover page with what looks to be the princess with her hair down and like some pigtails, and she's playing with her hair. Oh boy, that's gonna be Griffith's little thing. I'm telling you, it's gonna be Griffith's little thing. And this says Assassin Chapter 1, page 33. We move on to page 34. So we see some wolves, or dogs, maybe dogs, running through a field. And we see a bunch of guys on horses following the dogs. And they got like crossbows, and so I'm guessing they're hunting. I'm guessing they're doing some hunting. And we already talked. We already seen how the False said something about hunting is a dangerous sport, and maybe if someone was to get hit with a stray arrow, so if we see Griffith along this little hunting trip, he might try to kill Griffith. I'm just saying, just saying. So we see some guys downhill following these dogs, and then uphill we see some guys. We see what looks to be the king on horseback, and they're kind of it looked like they're watching all these guys follow behind these dogs. And then the king says, "Quite the tenacious prey." We see one of the guys. He says, "It's like the guy to the left of the king," and he says, "Would you or would your majesty care to join the chase once?" And the king says, "No, I wish not to. I would soon tire at my age." And then we got Julius behind the king looking like a pilgrim. He looked like a pilgrim, or like one of them guys back in the like a Quaker or something. He says, the king says, "Besides, it would displease them all if I were to come from the flank and steal their hard fought game." And we see Julius with like this menacing look, and the king says, "Ah, how magnanimous." And then Julius looks over to the right, and we see what looks to be Griffith on a horseback with some of his guys. So yeah, that definitely was Griffith. You see Griffith there, and we see Julius with a menacing look, and he looks back at a guy with a crossbow, and the guy looks at him smiling. So it's looking like this guy's the assassin right now. And I'm assuming he is Julius's hired gun meant to kill Griffith. Let's see. Now, obviously, he doesn't get the job done, but it's like, hey, I'm ready to see how this all plays out. So we see these guys chasing the prey, right? It might be like a wolf or a fox or something. I'm not too sure. And one of the guys says, "No, it'll escape to the thicket." And then we see another horse cut the fox off. So I think it's a fox. I think they're hunting a fox. It cuts the fox off, and it's Guts. Guts on horseback, and he yells, "Gah!" He cuts the fox off and yells at him. And the fox, I guess, tries to run to the left. And so Guts stops the fox from going into the thicket and escaping. And the fox had to like go a different route. So they could continue so he doesn't like run off where it's like hard to find him and eventually escapes. And one of the guys says, Whoa, you did it, boy." Gus says, "Phew." And we see Judo, and I want to say Corcus behind Judo. And Judo says, "What's the matter?" Gus says, "Why do we gotta tag along while the nobles goof off? It's ridiculous." And Judo says, "Can't be helped. It's part of the job too. Besides, it's a lot easier than going out to battle. No worries about getting killed." And then Gut says, "It feels more natural to me when I'm swinging this around." Yeah, that's how I be feeling when I be pulling, when I be swinging my thing. I'm just joking. You talk about swinging things around. I'm just saying. Corcus says, For God's sake, is that all you got in that head of yours? And then I think that's what's the name? Rickert. I think that's his name, the young kid. Rickert says, Corcus again. And Corcus says, shut up. And then somebody's talking. They say, listen, we're the guards for the autumn hunt. It's an honorable duty that until now has always been reserved for the kingdom's native-born white dragon knights. It's a privilege for just a chosen few, as it were. So I'm assuming this is Corcus speaking. And he says, we've run around covered in mud on battlefields for so many years. So earn that privilege. We've risked our lives so many times. And you say it's ridiculous? I mean, Corcus kind of got a point. You can't. I mean, for once, I would kind of agree with Corcus and be on his side. So he got a point. You know, this is something they've been working on. You know, I get Guts loves fighting, but not everybody want to fight and put their life on the line all the time, right? So now they're starting to get some more meaningful jobs, and you know, it's something that Griffith been working the band of the Hawk forward, right? And then Guts looks. I think Guts is thinking like, yeah, he's making sense. And Ricker says, Corcus. And then Corcus says, if you like swinging your sword that much, do it on your own. Killing fool. I mean, you know, Corcus do kind of got a point, though. You know, I can't be mad at Corcus on this. And then Guts just looks. And then we see Casca looking at Guts. Yo, I think Casca she want the thing. You know, she want the thing. I'm just saying. She want Guts, man. I'm just saying. She can't stop thinking the Guts all the time. She can't stop thinking the Guts. And she's like thinking that, you know, like we just see a dot. She doesn't say nothing, but it's like she's thinking the gut. She's thinking of something. And then she looks up on the hill, I guess, where Griffith is. I think that's Griffith. I'm not too sure yet. So, okay, so we see the princess being in her guards. And then we see the guys hunting, chasing the fox. And one of the guys try to shoot the fox with his crossbow. And the princess like turns her head. I guess she's, you know, the violence of it. She don't want to see the violence, but she has to be there. You know, it's kind of like the show face, right? You got to show face at such a big event. And the guy misses his arrow at the fox. And, you know, she sighs. And we see somebody pull up next to the princess and they ask, do you dislike hunting? You know, I already got a feeling who this is. You know, Griffith trying to put that game on her. It's probably Griffith trying to put the little Mac Daddy game on her. Show his little hair just like, do you dislike hunting, princess? So yeah, it definitely is Griffith. And he pulls up right beside the princess. And she looks. And Griffith is just looking at her with those romantic eyes. And she blushes and looks away. And she said, today is the first time I have come to the hunting grounds. My father invited me, so I felt I must accompany him. But I do not think that I will grow to like hunting. It is cruel. So yeah, it makes sense. You know, she don't like that violent stuff. You know, it makes sense. You know, all stuff like hunting and stuff. That's more like stuff that men like, right? Like stuff men like. You know, a lot of women don't like violent situations and, you know, cruel stuff like that. So I get it. And then the princess says, war is the same way. Why is it that men enjoy little more than shedding blood? And then Griffith just listens in. So Griffith reaches up to like the tree above him. and he grabs a leaf, and the princess looks at him, see what he's doing, and Griffith puts the leaf to his mouth, and she's like wondering what she's wondering what's going on, and we see Griffith biting on the leaf, and the princess says, "My," and then she end up grabbing a leaf, and I guess she blows into it, and it makes like a sound or something. Are they like using it kind of like a harmonica or something? Because I see like a music symbol when she puts it up to her mouth, and Griffith is watching her do that, and Griffith doing that Mac Daddy scallywag on him, that Mac Daddy scallywag. I'm just making up phrases and stuff right now. Don't mind me, y'all. Don't mind me. It's the Mac Daddy scallywag. Griffith says, "Here," or he says like this, "Here," and she's like holding the leaf in her mouth like Griffith was doing. I'm confused what this is supposed to accomplish. I'm a little confused what this is supposed to accomplish, but yeah, so they both have these leaves in their mouths. I mean, it's weird flex, but okay, And she's looking at Griffith with these seductive eyes. Oh, she wants to give Griffith the thing. She's giving Griffith the thing. She wants to. I already know. And then Casca's looking up at them two. Here come Casca. Here come Casca with her hating ass. Her old jealous hating ass. Look, Casca, you got guts now. Guts is yours, okay? Griffith no longer. Griffith is off the market at this point. Griffith is off the market, my gal. So it looked like the wind's blowing and Casca's looking. She looked like she might be a little happy for him. I'm not too sure what that face implies. Maybe it's a little jealousy. I don't know. But I think is she walking away? Because we see Guts and Judo looking at Casca. But I think the horse is walking away from the group. And then we see Guts looking at Griffith and the princess, and Guts is like, yeah, my man Griffith. I thought you swung for the other team. I thought you was swinging for the same team, but it looked like you might swing for the other team. I'm happy for you. That's what Guts probably thinking in his head. He probably happy about that. Like, yeah. This whole time I thought you had a crush on me. I thought you were swinging for the same team, but it looked like you do swing. It looked like you do swing for the other team. So I'm happy about that. And then we see the ultimate hater, Julius. Julius with his hating ass. And he says, "Bah, high and mighty." And then we see the guy with the crossbow, who I suspect to be Julius's assassin. And he says, "Excellency." And Julius says, "Just wait. The chance will no doubt come. Wait for when he's alone." And then we see some guys behind these bushes, patting the bushes, and they say, "Hey, there it is, drive it out." And then it looks like a boar, what I suspect to be a boar, coming out of the bushes right behind Griffith and the princess. So I think this might be like they're trying to get the boar to go past Griffith so Griffith could eventually break off from the princess. I think, but this could be just coincidence as well. I don't know. I don't know if this is all part of Julius's plan to have this boar go past Griffith so you know, Griffith could eventually follow it or what. So the boar runs right past the princess's horse and shocks the princess. It even shocks the horse, and the horse kind of lose control. And the princess says, "Eek!" So the princess's horse lose control, and it starts running off. So it's kind of seeming like, yeah, this might have been part of Julius's plan. It could have been. I don't know. You know, and so Griffith looks as the princess horse like runs off, and Griffith goes to chase the princess and her horse. We see Judo, Guts, and Rickard watching on, and they say, Rickard or Judo says, "Hey, look!" And then we see Julius look over at his assassin. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking that this was part of Julius's plan to separate Griffith. Griffith. So we see the assassin. He draws his bow and it has an arrow loaded. And Griffith is chasing the princess, and her horse goes into a little is that like a pond or something? It's like a pond or a like a little body of water. Griffith gives chase, and he pulls up right next to the princess horse and grabs it by like the neck and says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." So Griffith is alone. The princess is alone. You would think this would be a moment of some romantic things to happen, but no, this is going to be a moment where Griffith is going to have to avoid an assassination attempt. That's what it's looking like. So Griffith stops the horse in a little pond, and Griffith says, "Woo, it is all right now." And before he could fully get his words out, the princess like grabs Griffith by like just embraces him in the hug for saving him. And we see the princess. She's like shaking. She's shaking from that out of fear, I suppose. And then we see the assassin. We see his crossbow pointed at Griffith. And he's like hiding in the tree. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm thinking, do like Guts show up, right? Does Guts show up and spot this assassin and stop him or something? Does the assassin miss? Does he accidentally hit the princess? Does one of the other band of the Hulk show up? Or do somebody just kind of show up and interrupt, and kind of like the assassin has to stop and delay his assassination attempt later? Let us find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Or we're going to find out next page. Griffith says, "Are you hurt at all?" And the princess is shaking. We see tears in her eye. She says, "Mm-hmm." And then Griffith laughs and says, "Ah ha 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 ha. What is the matter?" The princess says, "I was scared. Very scared." And then Griffith says, or no, the princess says, "What a shock. My heart is still pounding. I've never been on such a wild horse ride in my life." And then she says, "Ooh." Oh man, who says Griffith wasn't using all this to, set up this whole moment? Like with the boar, the wild boar and everything, just to separate and get his little Mac Daddy on, and it just happened to play into the hands of Julius and his assassin. Who's to say that, right? Griffith says, "Your fear seems to have already fled somewhat." And the princess looks, and then we see some guys coming to help Griffith or not help Griffith, but some guys coming to behind Griffith. I assume this is the band of the Hawk, and they say Griffith, and Griffith looks at the princess and says, "Come, let us return. Everyone is worried." And then we see an arrow flying through the air. Oh boy. Oh boy. He acted. He acted. The question is, does he miss or does he hit Griffith? And we see an arrow right in Griffith's chest. So, if this arrow is poison, it's not going to be looking too good for Griffith. And it also looked like it caught him in the heart as well. Oh boy. Oh boy. And then Griffith looks with a shocked face. And we just see this arrow piercing Griffith's armor. And it says Assassin Chapter 1 End. Oh boy. Okay. All right, let's talk about this chapter. So, all right, so we got this wild hunt happening, right? Or not this wild hunt, but this hunting event that the king and the kingdom throws that's very important. And we got the band of the Hawk. They're pretty much acting as security right now, helping run the event and everything. And the king and his people are chatting it up as the guys are chasing this fox. And the king was like, "Oh, I wish I could do this, but I'm gonna let everybody else enjoy this hunt. I'm not as young as I used to be." So we see Caesar, or not, I don't know why I said Caesar. I guess Julius Caesar, but we see Julius, and Julius is he's looking at Griffith, in his hating ways, right? But then he looks at this guy with a crossbow who we learn later to be his assassin, right? So, but we end up cutting to these guys chasing the fox. We cut to the actual event of the guys hunting this fox, and Guts is kind of to play like he's there to force the fox to avoid running into like the bushes and getting away. So he's kind of playing like a wall almost, where his job is to distract the fox and make the fox go a different way as these guys are hunting this fox. And Guts ain't really feeling this job too much, and he's kind of complaining about it, talking about like, "Hey, I'd rather be out there killing." But then Corcus is kind of like, look, we done pretty much upgraded, right? We've been promoted to do better jobs where we're not all putting our life on the line all the time, right? This is pretty much what we work for by putting our life on the line consistently to get better jobs, to not have to put our life on the line. So like, stop complaining. Like, we have a good job right now, right? And I kind of agree with Corcus for once. I'm actually in agreement with Corcus. I think he's right, and he has a great point with that. That's something that, like, I get Guts. Like, I understand Guts, but it's a very selfish thing to want to fight just because you love fighting and, putting everybody else on lives on the line because you love fighting. When y'all got a job where it's not anybody's life's on the line except, Griffith's life is the only life on the line at the moment. But yeah, so they got a better job, and he's just saying, stop complaining. If you want to go fight, go fight. Go out there, fight. But right now, this is a plus job. Let's enjoy it, okay? But yeah, I definitely agree with Corcus for once. He has a very good point. And so we also see Casca. She noticed Griffith sliding into the DMs of the princess. He's like sliding by, putting that Mac Daddy that Mac Daddy cool on the girl, you know what I'm saying? And she look a little jealous, but I don't think so. I don't know. I think she got a thing for guts, honestly. So I don't think she's really jealous or anything. But yeah, so we see Griffith pull up, slide into them DMs, you know, he's talking with the princess and she's like, "Oh, I don't really like violence like that, so I'm not too big on this whole hunt." And he's like, I guess he was like, what, let me distract her. Let me take her mind off of the hunt. So he pulls this little treat, this little leaf off the tree, and he puts it to his mouth. And I guess he's blowing it to make sounds, or maybe he's just putting it in his mouth. I don't know. I don't get it. It is what it is. But she copies and she does the thing that takes her mind off of everything going on when it comes to the hunt, right? That she doesn't like, she doesn't enjoy. So as Griffith and Guts are having their moment, Julius's assassin kind of looks and said, "Hey, should I kill him? Should I kill him?" And Julius is like, "No, just wait. Just wait. Your time will come. It will come. Just wait till he's alone, and then you act." Okay? And so we cut back to Griffith and the princess, and we see like a boar kind of being like forced almost by like some soldiers to run out these bushes, and they run right past the princess and her horse, and that shocks the princess's horse, and she loses control of her horse, and her horse just manages to like run off, and Griffith gives chase. And at that moment, Julius is like, "Okay, now's the time." He gives his assassin the nod and like, "Yeah, now go off him." So Griffith is chasing the princess and her horse, and Griffith manages to stop the princess's horse. And after he stopped, the princess is shaking in fear and everything, and then she ended up embracing Griffith. So we kind of seeing this little love entanglement with the Griffith and the princess grow and blossom, right? But before we could really see anything else, that's when we see the hitman in the tree shoot his arrow, catch Griffith right in the chest. And that pretty much ends the chapter. Really enjoyed this chapter. It's good. I don't know what's meant for Griffith. They said the arrow was poison. So if it is indeed poison, the arrow itself already looked like it hit Griffith damn near in the heart, if not in the heart, right? But even if it didn't catch Griffith in the heart, it might be poison, right? So now we might see a situation where Griffith is going to have to fight for his life. That's what it's looking like. That's what it looked like we're going. I assume that I didn't think the assassin was going to move this quick, especially since this is the first chapter of the whole assassin mini arc. But it looked like we're moving along, right? It looked like we're moving along, and Griffith is already hit with this arrow, potentially this poison arrow. So I'm assuming next chapter Griffith is going to be fighting for his life. I don't know. Unless we find out that Griffith had like some extra armor plating that stopped the arrow from piercing him. That could be the case as well. You know how you watch those movies and somebody gets shot and you think they're dead, but then it's like a book that they put in their pocket. They put in like their little left chest pocket right there. Like a book they put earlier in the movie that stopped the bullet. Something like that, right? Like it could be a situation like that. But we will find out next chapter. And it was a good chapter. But that is the chapter. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Make sure you follow me on Twitch so you could catch these live streams live. And you can engage with me in real time. Also, Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And make sure you join the Discord. Come be a part of the community where we talk One Piece, we talk Berserk, all these we talk Bleach, we talk whatever anime you want. We talk it there. If So yeah. Also, comment down below. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this chapter. Let me know your thoughts on the read through. What do you think of Berserk in general? Just please save any spoilers. Okay, save any spoilers from this chapter on. Please, I appreciate that. But anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P. the Bluff Guy. Now I'm out of here. Peace.